Again, it took me almost an hour to prepare to use YouTube. So let's just sit together and breathe. Rainy day, and I thought it's a good day to do a yoga practice to uplift our mood. Let's find our breath first. The breath is low in that belly. The inhale expands the navel away from the spine, and the exhale draws it back in. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, retracting. We're getting that oh so frantic mind under our control, rather than allowing it to wander here, there, and everywhere, which really is nowhere that serves us well very often. The outside world can invite us to feel fearful and worried. And yet, we can control that mind. We can choose what comes in and what stays in and what is released. Thich Nhat Hanh said, paradise is now or never. It's the contents of our mind and our heart that determine that. So we can choose gratitude. We can choose kindness. We can choose forgiveness. We can choose to be now, here, rather than nowhere, which is really where we head when we are wandering into the past or into the future. Those what ifs will only cause worry at this time. So breathing slowly and smoothly. This is a gentle practice, level 1. I think I'd like to begin our physical warm-up on our back. You might want a blanket nearby, or a pillow if you have one handy in your room. I'm going to lie down on my back. And I think I'll pull my knees in a little bit and just rock. I don't know what time of day you're doing this practice. This is afternoon, so I'm pretty much warmed up. But if I do it in the morning, I'm a little stiffer, not as flexible, so I take it a little easier. Let's put our feet down. We're going to stretch, and this might feel really good in the morning or any time of the day. I'm going to stretch my legs out. I'm going to stretch my arms. If it's hard to stretch your arms over your head, just take them out in a T and maybe spread the legs a little bit. You can still stretch very effectively. So what we're just going to do is stretch opposite directions, and I might stretch my right side body a little bit, my right arm and right leg, and my left side body. And then let's gently walk our feet in again. Let's take our knees all the way in. And if you'd like to lift your heart up toward those thighs, be careful of your neck. Make sure it's soft and relaxed and keep breathing. And then coming back down, let's stretch again. Now I think I might stretch my right arm and my left leg away from each other. And then the other side. And I'm finding a little pivoting in my midsection. And that feels really good on my lower back. But this is all about feeling good in your body. What I feel in my body is not the same as your body. And then again, let's walk those in, pull those knees in, and maybe lift the heart up. Keep the shoulders down, away from the ears, nice long neck. And then keeping the knees in, but place the shoulders down. I'm just going to start guiding my knees in circles. So I'm just warming up those hips a little bit more, warming up my back, my lower back. And then reverse those circles. And then let's take our feet down, but let's take them down a little wider than our hips. Arms relaxed at our side. We can begin the knees going side to side. Let's do it with our breath. The inhale would bring the knees up to the center. The exhale would take the knees over to the side in a gentle twist. Not forcing or pushing. That doesn't please the body. The body wants to be eased. And maybe the head moves to the opposite side as the legs. Very gently. More belly breathing. Let's not forget the breath. And you're finding your own rhythm of breathing. It may be slower or more quickly than mine. And then coming back to the center, I'm going to just rest my knees on each other for a moment. And reach my arms up to the ceiling. And I'm going to stretch one arm, just warming up the upper back a little bit now. So I'm just reaching, the whole shoulders coming up. I think that's good. Let's roll over and come up to seated. Now I'm going to keep my feet. Over. I think I'm going to try to mirror you. So you can just do the same direction I'm doing, which will be, I'll be doing the reverse when I'm saying left and right. So I'm going to have my feet over to the left. So let's put our feet over to the left, which is my right, but it might be easier for you to follow. Let's see if I can follow. I'm going to take my left hand on my left leg. My right arm is going to go up, and I'm going to do a side bending over to the left. Coming up with that right arm, I'm going to take that right hand by my hip. My left hand's going to come to the top of my right thigh. I'm going to sit up nice and tall, roll those shoulders back and down. And then on an exhale, navel drawing the spine, I'm going to ease myself into that twist to the right. I like to think of sitting majestically in a twist, because I think automatically we know what that feels like in the body. And then releasing that twist, let's take the right hand over beside us. Again, the left arm's going to come up. And this time, you might want to put some weight into that right arm and lift those hips. And that may not be accessible to all of us. We're giving a little weight bearing on the upper body. That's good for building our muscle and bone mass and strength. And gently coming down. I'm going to put my hands beside that front knee, that right knee, and just gently fold over that hip. So what this is, it's called the deer pose, and it's the benefits of a pigeon or a figure four, where we're getting a nice stretch of that right hip area. And you don't have to come down to the forearms. Wherever you are is absolutely fine. You'll know because you'll feel a little pressure, weight on that right hip. And sometimes as we relax and release, we move more deeply into any pose. And then gently walking back up, always gentle with that body, that amazing body of ours. It's always striving for wellness. Oh, no matter what we do to it, it's still striving for wellness. Let's swing those feet now over to the right. And if you're doing the reverse, it doesn't matter. And you can have those feet in any way. So it doesn't matter if we have pinwheel or sometimes it's called mermaid. So my right hand is on my right calf, but it can be anywhere where you can put it on your hip if you'd like. The left arm is going to go up, and I'm going to do that side bend now. So I'm getting a really long left side body. Well, I happen to be getting a long right side body, but you know what I mean. We're really stretching those intercostal muscles, the ones that help us to breathe. And then coming up, left hand goes by that hip, left hand, right hand comes to that left thigh, sitting up nice and tall, inhaling, exhaling, easing yourself into that twist to the left. Make your neck long, maybe pull the chin back a little bit. Again, a nice majestic seat, sitting with integrity. And your head can be turned any direction, whatever feels good on your neck. And then releasing out of that twist, I'm going to take my left hand beside me. I want that hand to end up under that shoulder. So the right arm is going to go up, and you can stay right there, and you can feel a good twist there. You can feel some weight on that left arm, or you can pick those hips up. As I said, not all of us are ready for that. Wherever you're at, that's exactly where the good stuff happens in your body. We all have different bodies, different proportions, so it doesn't behoove us to compare ourselves with anyone. And gently coming down. Now we're going to fold over that front knee, that left knee. So just come down a little bit or come down a lot, whatever feels good here. Easy does it. The body wants to be finesse. Breathing, soften the face. And then gently walking up. Good. Let's get on our hands and knees. I'm thinking I'm going to put my knees on a blanket. But we're not going to stay there too long, so it's not really necessary unless you have one handy there. So now I have my table pose. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under the head, approximately. And we can flex and extend that spine a little bit. So I'm just going to scoot my back a little bit into a back bend, and then I'm going to round it just a little. I don't like to round it too much. I'm just going to flow a little bit with my breath. When I'm scooping my back, that's my inhale. When I round my back a little bit, that's my exhale. Just a little bit of movement here. The spine really appreciates it. It gets nourished. We feel as young or as old as our spine is flexible. So that is one of the benefits of our yoga practice. And then Coming back to our flat back tabletop. I'm going to extend my right toes on the mat and get a little wake up for the calf and the back of that right leg. So I have my toes curled under on the mat, and I'm going to pulse maybe a little bit, or you can just press through that right heel as well. Now I'm going to take that left arm out. So I have the left arm stretched in front of me. My thumb is up. Engage the belly. So pull that navel up. That'll help to protect your lower back. It'll help to tone the abdomen. You can keep that back leg down, or you can lift it up. It's your choice. Keep your head in line with your spine. Keep reaching through the heel, whether you have the foot up or down. Hand comes down. Right knee comes in. And just wag the tail a little bit side to side. And coming back to your tabletop, left toes back on the mat. And just either press through that left heel or pulse a little bit forward and back. Make sure you're pressing in with your fingers, not just the balls of your hands. Press in with your thumbs. They're there to help you too. You can do this on your forearms as well. Right arm reaches out, thumbs up. You can keep those back toes down, but either way, lift up through your navel. Hand comes down, left knee comes in, a little wagging of the tail. And then we're just gonna sit back for a few moments. And a lot of folks can take those hips all the way back to those heels. So you can sit up. I like to call this polar bear when you have your hips raised up off those heels. You could rest your brow on your mat or on your stacked hands or stacked fists. So just taking a little break here in your child's pose. And it's when we come to mindfulness of where is the mind? Did it wander away from now? Did it wander away from here? Did it wander and go nowhere? Nowhere meaning a place that doesn't serve us well right now. And then let's come up. We're going to end up going on our belly, so you can either keep your blanket there or not. I'm going to take my body now into a supported plank. So my shoulders are aligned over those wrists. My fingers are all employed here, all engaged to support this. And my knees are back so that I really feel a lot of core engagement. The core being your abdominal muscles, but also your waist, your lower back, your thighs, your glutes and your derriere. They may be engaged here. And we can do some gentle push-ups if we'd like here. When we do our yoga push-ups, we draw the elbows back toward the ribs. And we do that on an exhale, and then we straighten those arms on an inhale. So if you'd like to do a few just on your own before we come down to our belly. And then as you're ready, we'll gently lower ourselves down to our belly. So any way you get there with control so that you're safe. I'm gonna stack my hands or my forearms, rest my brow or my cheek down. I'll do my cheek so I can still see the camera. And I'm gonna just relax here for a few breaths. I'm gonna catch my breath I'm going to find it in my belly again. I'm going to feel my belly, my navel drawing to the earth on the in-breath. And draw away from the earth on the out-breath. Very beneficial to the body to come to stillness during your yoga practice as many times as possible, just to let the body catch up, to assimilate what you gifted it with so far. I'm just going to pull my legs a little closer if they've been apart. I'm just going to bend one knee and then the other. And then bring the legs down. Let's come up Sphinx. So Sphinx, we take our elbows under our shoulders or in front of those shoulders, but it's not like a cobra and the arms aren't back. So I'm pretty lifted. It's a pretty steep back bend. If you want a little bit less of the back bend, maybe move those elbows a little forward. And we want to be sure to protect that lower back because, as I said, it's a pretty steep back bend. So I'm going to lift my navel up. I'm bringing my navel up toward the spine. So my belly's kind of lifting a bit, not as much pressure on the mat as originally. I'm going to lift up out of my shoulder girdle instead of collapsing in here. I'm going to isometrically draw my forearms back. I'm just drawing them without really moving them. So that helps my shoulders to roll back. My head's going to stay in line with my spine. How about if we bend our right knee? That may be accessible. It might not. And then taking that leg down. How about bending the left knee? And then taking it down. Are you still in your Sphinx pose? Is the navel still drawing up? Pelvis pressing down toward the mat, lifting up out of the shoulder girdle. And then gently coming down again, stack those hands or those forearms. Place your brow down or maybe the opposite cheek. Bend those knees and let the feet sway side to side. Coming back, legs on the mat. Let's slide our hands now under our shoulders. We're going to help ourselves up to table. We're going to come up to standing from here. So I'm going to bring one foot forward. And you can stand up any way that at home, if you have furniture and you want to hold on to climb up. I'm just going to lift the other knee up. I'm going to pull that back foot forward. And then I'm going to climb up with my hands on my thighs or on my hips and come up. I'm engaging my strong leg muscles. Back was on vacation, was not using my back at all. Let's come to mountain. I like to toggle a little. To make some movements until I get settled. Knees are soft, shoulders roll back and down. Palms are either facing your thighs or forward. Head comes back on the spine a little bit. You can smile because you're in good posture. The body works well when we offer it this positioning. So we're going to do a little balance with some movement, and I think it's not going to be too terrifying for us. So I know how balance is. As we get older too, it's a little harder and we need to practice. So what we're going to do, on the inhale, we're going to be raising our arms and lifting a leg. Look at something that's not moving. Certainly don't look at me. The next time you inhale, you're going to lift the arms and lift the other leg up. The exhale takes them down. So just flow, look at something in your room that's not moving. And then if you decide you want a little brain exercise, you'll lift one leg and the opposite arm. And then maybe go back to both arms and one leg. And when you think you've done an equal number, that's it. I'm sure you did a good job. Let's separate our legs. We're going to go into Warrior One and Peaceful Warrior. And again, I'm going to attempt to not confuse you, but mirror. So I'll be doing the opposite side, but you can just look at me and I'll be your mirror. So let's take our right foot parallel with the right side of the mat, and let's aim our left foot away. Hands on the hips. I'm going to bend into that left knee. I'm not going to let that knee pass that ankle. And you can be behind the ankle, but just not past the ankle for safety. And that knee, that left knee, I'm just asymmetrically trying to open it toward the pinky side of the foot. Arms can come out. Let's do some circles, a little bit more for our shoulders. Doesn't matter what direction you're going. Make sure you go both directions though. And then come back, arms shoulder level, take those palms up. I like to do my warrior too with my palms up, but you can put those palms any position that works for you. Sometimes I even do thumbs up. I like to change it up sometimes. So my right hand is going to come on my right left leg, and now I'm going to turn that left palm up, and I'm going to take it over. And you can make this is Peaceful Warrior, as long as we're bending into that left knee. So you can make this into a side bend, or you can make it into a back bend. We're going to flow between this Peaceful Warrior and our Warrior Two. So inhale up to your Warrior Two, arms shoulder level again. Exhale back to your Peaceful Warrior. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Keep breathing your own pace. If you like to change it up, the next time you breathe out and you go back, you can go back to your reverse triangle by straightening that left knee and then bend into it when you come to your Warrior Two. So you make this what you want it to be, but try to be mindful of the movements, being slow. How about one more? And then coming back to your Warrior Two. Good. Release those arms down. Take the hands to the hips. Let's switch those feet. So now left foot becomes parallel with the left side of the mat. The right foot points away. And we bend into that right knee. And again, be mindful that knee is not passing that ankle. And feeling both feet grounded. We really need to create a firm foundation before we build a pose. So then the arms can come out. And the palms could turn up. And just notice what happens. The shoulders go back to where they belong. Shoulders roll back and down. And then you decide how you want your palms to be. Now the left hand goes on that left leg, and the right arm goes over the head, either for that back bend or that side bend. Peaceful warrior, you're still bending into that right knee. Inhale here up to your warrior two. Exhale back to your peaceful warrior. Breathing in and breathing out. And now on your own, and if you'd like to convert that peaceful warrior to a reverse triangle, you'll just straighten that right knee without locking it. Some nice stretching going on and some strengthening throughout the body. Oh, let's do one more. I'm sure you're feeling very flowy, very graceful. And coming back. Good. Lower those arms, heel toe those feet closer together. Roll those shoulders. Another opportunity for good posture. Soften the knees, pull the head back slightly, lining those ears over the shoulders. Just be the mountain of stability and strength that you are. We're going to come down to seated. So any way you'd like to get there, I'm going to turn sideways. And I think I'm going to bend my knees a lot and catch myself with my hands. So I'm going to bend my knees, catch myself, and step back onto my knees. And I'm always mindful of not using my back to do this. I'm going to cross my ankles and I'm going to sit back. But any way you came down to seated, as long as you didn't hurt yourself, it's fine. I'm going to extend my legs out. So staff pose, not an easy pose to hold ourselves upright in a seated position such as this. So I'm rolling those shoulders back, and we all have different body proportions, torso, arms, legs. So, my hands might look like this here, and yours might have to be back here, or maybe you're tenting your fingers, or maybe your hands are closer to the thighs. So whatever your length is, whatever your proportions are, that's where you'll end up. But I'm attempting to keep my back nice and straight and tuck my chin a little bit, softening my knees. Let's pull our right knee in. And we're going to twist. Some of you I know like to cross that right foot over that left leg, and that's fine. Right hand is going to come by that right hip. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. My left hand is holding that right knee. Before I twist, I like to extend my spine. I like to press that left heel forward, actually away from me as I'm twisting, and that has the twist originating in the pelvis. So on my exhales, navel drawing to spine, that's when I'm going to ease myself into my twist to the right. I'm sitting nice and tall in my inhales, and then my exhales, might give me a little bit more of a rotation here. And when we twist, we're stimulating all those systems of the gut, including the immune system, our serotonin production. It's our feel-good hormone. We're nourishing our spine. My navel is drawing out on my in-breath and drawing back on my out-breath. And then releasing forward. Let's just take that right knee over to the right. I'm going to face my left leg. My knee is soft. You can even put a blanket under it or a pillow if you have one. That'll help keep it soft. My toes are pointing back toward me. I'm going to sit up nice and tall again, and I'm just going to be hinging from my left hip crease. I'm going to use exhales to ease me, to finesse me into this pose. Body does not The back does not need any more stretching. It's probably overstretched from our posture. So we don't need to be rounding, hunching forward. We need to be sitting up nice and tall. In my mind, I'm even thinking back bend. Whether I look like I'm in a back bend or not, I'm thinking back bend. Soften the gaze. And it's when we hold the pose that we can really practice that mindfulness, whether the mind is wandering off. And then gently coming up. I'm taking my right hand behind me. Again, we're doing another upper body strengthening option here, opportunity. I'm going to roll onto my right hip. My left arm's going to go up, and I'm going to lift my hips, similar to what we did earlier. And again, this may not be available to everyone. And then gently coming back down. Facing forward again, or facing the direction we originated our twist. I'm going to stretch my legs out. And I'm going to pull my left knee in for that twist. And some folks would have that left foot to be inside of the right leg or crossed over. Sitting up nice and tall. Left hand by your hip, right hand on that left leg. Sitting up tall on the in-breath, those right toes shining back toward me. On the exhale, I'm going to start twisting to the left, and I'm just easy, coaxing that right heel forward, away from me a little bit. And you can look in any direction. And again, we want to create a pose of majesty, so you feel majestic. And your body will instinctively go into that upright position when you consider that. And you can look towards your extended leg, or you can look over your left shoulder or straight ahead. And the breath is in the belly. The in-breath takes the navel away from the spine, maybe deepening the twist. The inhale, elongating the spine. And then slowly releasing out of the twist. The left knee goes over to the left. Left foot by that right thigh. Facing that outstretched right leg. Keep that knee bent, that right knee nice and soft. Hinging from that hip crease. And remember, I'm thinking back bend. So I'm exhaling into this fold. And wherever you are, that's your edge. That's the place where all the good stuff is going to happen. You can ease yourself in it, but no pushing or shoving, no struggle, just ease. Struggling just creates more tension in the body and in the mind. It actually limits our flexibility. It limits our stability. And it limits our way of thinking and our way of being. Maybe smile. Everything is okay. We can send ourselves these messages constantly. We're okay. And then gently coming up. I'm going to take my left hand behind me now so I can roll onto that left hip and lift. And then gently landing. Just shake those legs. While we're here, let's do a little boat. Lots of options for boats. So I'm going to start with my hands behind me, but I don't want to sink in that shoulder girdle. I want to lift up. And you can keep your feet right on that mat, and you start feeling a lot of engagement in the core. And remember, the core is not just the abdomen, but the waist is helping, the lower back gets involved, the thighs. And we really, when we do boat, we really want to target all those muscles of the abdomen. So That may be it. Or maybe you have your feet on the mat and you hold your thighs. And I'm still thinking back then. And then another option would be hands down, legs up, hands, thighs, hands release, soften that face, create your own boat here. You should be able to breathe smoothly and slowly. You should be able to talk normally. And let's take our feet down and let's take them into a diamond shape. So I'm putting the soles of my feet together. My knees are out to the side. I have a nice diamond shape in my legs. I'm going to sit up tall, and again, we're going to be hinging from those hip creases. My heart leads the way, and those exhales do all of the easing for me. Navel draws back to the spine. And as I focus on the breath in every pose, I'm inviting my mind to be present. All the good stuff happens in the present moment. We don't find much good stuff when we consider the future, when we worry about the future, when we're fearful. And there's no reason to have regrets in the past. We just learn, we live and learn and grow. And then gently coming up. And let's invite another boat. So you find the boat, create the boat of your choice. Whatever boat, invite a little back bend, invite a softening of the face. I always thought that the most challenging poses are the ones that need a smile. And then bringing those feet down, again, soles of the feet together. Maybe you want to bring them a little closer. Again, sitting up tall before we start hinging to the hip on the inside of the legs. So let's start hinging a little bit. It may just be an inch. Play around with that breath. See if that exhale, that letting go, that sense of letting go, of surrendering, eases you more deeply into your pose. Back bends actually strengthen our back, which the back could definitely use. And they stretch the front body, which the front body can use. And then gently coming up. Just taking your hands behind you, feet as wide as the mat. Let the knees go a little side to side. We're going to roll down. So any way you want to roll down, a lot of control. Pull those knees in once you're there. Rock a little side to side. Now for our inversion today, let's just take our hands and feet up to the ceiling. Make some movements, wiggle toes, wiggle fingers, circle ankles, circle wrists, shake the limbs, whatever feels good. And then let's take the feet down. And like we did at the beginning, let's stretch. Stretch out nice and long. But remember, if it's too much for the shoulders to reach over the head, just make teeth with the arms and separate the feet. Stretch, stretch. And then gently walking those feet in like we did at the beginning. Pull those knees in. Maybe the heart lifts toward the thighs. And then let's stretch one more time. You can stretch one side then the other, or you could do that pivoting we did, opposite arm and leg. And one more time, gently walking those feet in, lifting the heart. And then taking the back down and take the feet down. Separate the feet as wide as the mat and let the knees begin side to side like we did at the beginning. Inhaling in the center, exhaling as the legs go to one side. Belly breathing here, softening, allowing to release the relaxing, softening to stretch the body effectively, safely. On an inhale, the knees come up. On an exhale, they go over to the other side. Maybe the head turns. And then bringing the knees up. Pull the knees in, rock a little side to side. And I think that's the end of our active practice, the dynamic poses. So let's stretch out for our final resting pose. So you want to have your feet probably as wide as your mat. Relax the arms out by your side. And if you have a blanket or pillow, put it under your head or under your knees. Tilt the chin a little toward the chest. Go to your breath. Allow the breath to deepen this pose as you become more anchored to the earth, more grounded. Releasing any tension held in the feet, the legs. Releasing from the hips, the spine. Relaxing the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Softening through the throat, the neck, the jaw, lips, tongue. Softening eyes and brow, temples. Allow the head to be released completely on the support beneath you. You are held. You are well supported. picture every cell in your body is a pinpoint of bright light. Can you imagine how brightly you are shining? Allow that light to warm you and soothe you and heal you, and even shine out from you, far out from you. That light is love, and that is what and who you are. You're welcome to stay reclining, or you could slowly come up and join me in a seated posture. At the end of our practice, we usually bring our hands into Anjali Mudra at our heart center. I like to leave a little space between my palms, representing that heart center, representing that light and that love. I'd like to invite you to join your heart with my heart as I say a metta or loving kindness meditation prayer. May all beings be safe and free from fear. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you all again soon.